This week, a look back at some of our top trips to Thailand. Henry's rolling with the punches.
Look at his abs. Ridiculous.
Mike gets stuck in.
I'm knee deep and I'm still sinking further.
And Carmen tries a techie solution to pollution.
Yeah, I'm cleaning the beach.
Hello and welcome to the Travel Show. Well, it's hard to believe it's been around a whole year since life changed for everyone here in the UK thanks to the COVID pandemic. The vaccination scheme is giving us all hope that soon we'll be able to travel. But in the meantime, stay with us for some escape inspiration and tips that'll come in handy once we can hit the road again. This week we're focusing on that tried and true traveller favourite, Thailand. We kick off literally in the Thai capital of Bangkok, where back in 2017 we convinced Henry to train like a champion and try his hand at the country's national sport.
Muay Thai is said to have been developed by Thai warriors in the battlefields of the 14th century, where it became known as the art of the 8 limbs. That's because hands, shins, elbows and knees are all used as points of contact.
Really quite high octane. Now these fighters are absolutely astonishing watching up close and personal, but some bright spark at the travel show decided that it was a good thing for me to try it out firsthand. So tomorrow morning I'm heading over to an actual Muay Thai camp that trains Muay Thai fighters from all over Thailand. And I just hope that I come out the other end not too bruised and banged up.
So I head 45 minutes to the north of Bangkok to Miniyotin Gym. It's where some of the country's top champions live and train. Tourists who want to get fit can stay at camps like this throughout Thailand, but this place is known as the country's toughest.
How's the experience been so far?
Good, man. These guys, they're tough.
Yeah?
really tough. I mean, they're the best. I mean, back home where I'm training like 2 hours a day, and that's supposed to be like the real like tough stuff, you know, for competition, or 3 hours a day. Over here, you train like 6 to 7 hours a day, and that's like the normal. Like these guys train twice a day, every day.
เวลาเราฝึกใช่ไหมครับพูดถึงเวลาเราฝึกเราก็ต้องฝึกเท้าให้ได้ก่อนครับเพราะเท้ามันเป็นพื้นฐานของกีฬาทุกชนิดไม่ว่าจะเป็นฟันดาบบาสเกตบอลการต่อยมวยสากลมวยไทยต้องเริ่มจากฐานก็คือเท้าให้ดีนะครับมันถึงจะมาฝึกอย่างอื่นได้
Determined to make me sweat even more. It's all about balance. You always think of leaning into a punch, but actually with Muay Thai, you have to stay pretty much dead center, keep your weight evenly distributed. It's weird, it's like breaking habits.
Children here start learning from a very young age, and it takes years to master the practice.
I'm about to step in the ring with Momo, who's top contender for Muay Thai in Japan. He looks really mean.
Look at his abs. They're ridiculous. I got a fair way to go yet. Okay. Practice, yeah? Basics. So I think I'm gonna have to call it a day. These guys are finely tuned athletes, and I've had the tiniest, the nit-noi of training here. Been absolutely amazing, but my time here is done. So I hope you enjoyed my agony.
Great job from Henry there, channeling his inner warrior. Up next, a local community battling to save its wildlife. Back in 2019, we sent Mike Corey to the coast, where conservationists have found an ingenious, though rather muddy, solution to an ongoing conservation challenge.
Few international travelers venture here, but in recent years, the amazing transformation of its ecosystem has begun to draw people like me.
While it might not be one of the most beautiful ecosystems, it's actually quite full of life. There's snails, cockles, crabs, macaques, birds, all kinds of wildlife here. There's a monkey right here with a crab in its mouth. This place is quite an experience.
The shellfish, shrimps, and crabs which thrive in this environment were almost at the brink of collapse just a few decades ago because of the dramatic loss of one simple thing: mangroves. Industrial shrimp farming left the mangrove forest decimated, and with it a fragile ecosystem which the villagers depended on to survive.
อย่างที่ผมกล่าวไปทั้งปริมาณสัตว์ป่าแล้วก็สัตว์น้ำเนี่ยลดลงอย่างมากก็ส่งผลกระทบโดยตรงเลยกับชาวบ้านที่เขาต้องมีชีวิตผูกพันมากับสายน้ำตั้งแต่ยังเด็กไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องการทำอาชีพรวมถึงสภาพสิ่งแวดล้อมที่มันเปลี่ยนแปลงไปนะครับทำให้วิถีชีวิตดั้งเดิมของคนเนี่ยแล้วก็อาชีพเนี่ยหายไปเกือบหมดเลย
But the local people began to fight back. Paiboon helped bring hundreds of people from nearby villages to replant the mangroves. Eventually, their work began to pay off, and it caught the attention of royalty.
ครับก็กำลังจะถึงนักท่องเที่ยวแล้วตอนนี้พอท่านพระเทพเสด็จมาครั้งแรกนะครับก็มีการเล่าลือกันไปต่างๆนานาว่าพระองค์ท่านเนี่ยไม่เคยเสด็จบ้านราษฎรอยากจะมาดูบ้านผู้ใหญ่ชงมั่งอยากจะมาช่วยผู้ใหญ่ชงปลูกป่าบ้างก็ตอนนี้ก็พวกนักศึกษาพวกนักเรียนอะไรก็แล้วแต่ก็มากันเรื่อยมาช่วยปลูกป่านะครับมาช่วยกันปลูกป่า
Okay, when I knew I was going to be planting mangroves, I brought hiking boots. Good traction, kind of waterproof. Apparently, this is not the footwear of choice. We wear these, which is a fusion of yoga pants and woman's brassiere. And I've put these on my feet, and we go almost waist deep in the mud, and that's how we plant mangroves. So, new. I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. This is really, I'm knee deep and I'm still sinking further. How does it work? New? One. I got one. So dig a hole. And you plant it in just like a normal tree. All right.
Over 32 years since the replanting began, the mangrove forest has regained a third of what was lost.
Right here. That's good. Okay, fun fact about the mangrove tree. They're actually shaped this way like a torpedo because when they fall from the trees, they go bloop. and they're supposed to stick in the ground themselves. And so they basically can plant themselves. And there we go. Okay. Mangrove forest, one step bigger. High five.
And of course, there's more than one way to get clean after a day exploring the mangroves. I'm told that years ago, local kids found another use for these boards. It's great to give something back when you're traveling. But hey, it's even better if you can have a little fun along the way.
Mike getting good and messy there on the Thai coast. And oh, won't it be nice when we get to have adventures like that again? Followed by a nice warm shower, of course. Oh, do stay with us because we've got more great memories coming up, including
Henry learns some survival skills when he gets lost in the Thai jungle.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is actually extremely comfortable.
And Rajan looks for some inner calm during a stay at a Buddhist monastery.
This is a feast. It's only once a day, but it's a good feast.
So do stick with us for that. Time now to head to Thailand's famous sandy beaches. The country has around 3,000 kilometres of beautiful coastline, which of course makes it a huge draw for tourists. But that doesn't always mean good news for the environment. So back in 2019, we sent Carmen to Songkhla in the country's south, not to catch some rays, but to join a cleanup mission.
Cleaning up Thailand's beaches has become a priority for a network of volunteers called Trash Heroes. The group operates in 25 cities across the country. Cleaning the beaches of trash and tiny pieces of cigarettes seems a never-ending task. But the Trash Heroes here could soon have some help. Why do we need a beach robot here?
Because there are too many trash. This place I grew up, so many tourists come to this beach. And if the beach gets dirty, no one wants to come. So I start this project.
How does it actually work?
The robot is digging in the sand about 5 centimeters, shaking to separate the sand out and move the trash back to the truck.
And how much rubbish do you actually collect?
Before this, if we run about 80 meters, we get about 4 kilograms of trash.
4 kilograms in 80 meters?
Okay.
Okay, I'm dying to have a go to control it.
Sure, just easy control.
Okay, so that's forward and backwards, okay.
Yeah, forward and turn left and right.
Oh, wow, okay.
And this is control the speed of the shaker.
Oh.
And if you push this down, it will dig in the sand.
Wow, this is great. Yeah, I'm cleaning the beach. Dr. A and his team are working on a second prototype that will separate the shells out from the trash. At the moment, that has to be done by hand. It's so satisfying to see so much rubbish coming in. There's a big focus here on getting the next generation to think differently about how they treat the country's beaches, to protect this beautiful landscape for the future.
Carmen doing her bit there on the beach. Well, now to dig deep into the travel show archives, back to 2014, when we shot a film with Henry long before he became a Hollywood star. We sent him to trek in the jungles near Phuket, and everything was going just fine until he got lost.
This barefoot explorer is survival expert Dave Williams. For years, he's been teaching trekkers basic survival skill that could mean the difference between life and death.
Dave, I'm lost. I need your help. What's the first thing I should do?
Just relax. It's not that big a deal. You can't be that lost.
I have a mobile phone, but the battery is very, very low. 1 bar left and hardly any signal. What are my priorities? Do I use it now or do I save it?
Well, you've only got 1 bar. We've got 1 hour of light. I would wait for that. The chances of us getting rescued now are pretty slim. Let's accept our fate. enjoy the night. We got a night in the jungle to spend. Let's do this. And then tomorrow we'll figure out, we'll walk around just a little bit, find 2 bars, make the call.
Dave's most important tip is to keep hydrated. Without water, the body and brain soon go into shutdown. So that's what we need to sort out first.
We're going to hopefully find some water in bamboo. Bamboo holds a lot of water. During the dry season, it has water inside it. This water is pure, it's a little bit sweet, and it tends to be cool temperature-wise. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to make myself a straw. Okay, yeah. Okay. There could be this much water in here. There could be this much water in here. It's a little bit late in the dry season, so I'm going to just expect to be a little bit of water here. So we can cut up in here. There we go. Have a little taste.
That is good. That is very refreshing.
Dave originally worked in the shipyards of Virginia. When the work there dried up, he decided to head to Asia, his home ever since.
So Dave, how did you get involved with all of the survival techniques?
Well, I've been into wild edible plants and stuff all my life. I just find it a very interesting subject. And when I lived back in America, if you knew a dozen plants basically in my home state, you had it sorted. Here, I got a dozen plants in my yard.
With sunset fast approaching, I had to sort out where I was going to sleep for the night.
So why is it so important to build a shelter?
Certain times of year when it's a little bit cold, the ground is cold. It doesn't have to be but a few degrees colder than your actual body temperature to literally suck the life out of you. But you're also getting off the ground to get the creepy crawlies, the things that are going to annoy you and keep you from sleeping. Go around everything as many times as you can and make it as tight as you can. Okay, we've got the foundation going. Check this out, man.
So that's pretty stable? That's pretty good.
Now all we got to do is put some slits across and we are done.
Holding my breath. Holding my breath. Oh. Ah. That's reasonably comfortable. Hold on. Just shift down a little bit.
Shift down, get your weight light. You might want to take your knife off.
Oh, and what about a pillow and a bit of a shoulder rub? Oh, there we go.
There's your pillow.
Ah.
Yeah, that's your shoulder rub. There you go.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is actually extremely comfortable.
Henry there getting some tips from Dave Williams, who's still out there hacking through the undergrowth and teaching survival skills. Well, to finish the show this week, it's time for something a little more relaxing and even consciousness raising. Across the world, Thailand is known for its hundreds of Buddhist monasteries, where monks and nuns spend their lives in simplicity, contemplation and meditation. Back in 2014, we sent Rajan to get a taste of that lifestyle, for a day at least.
The first duty of the new day is collecting alms, food from the local community.
Every morning there's a number of routes from this monastery, and the monks divide into small groups and go out to each route.
As I'm soon to find out, this is not the only source of sustenance for the monks.
There you go. This is a feast. It's only once a day, but it's a good feast.
Next on the agenda is one of my daily duties.
Anyone else got?
You might have noticed that the task of sweeping up is given really to the most enlightened person here in the monastery. That's why I'm doing it. And after that's complete, a chance to meet some of the foreign monks as they finish their jobs. Some, it transpires, have had rather colourful previous lives.
I used to be a photographer.
You used to be a photographer?
Yeah, and I traveled through the world, enjoyed myself. So
what kind of pictures?
Fashion.
Fashion?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fashion magazines, catalogs, this kind of thing.
And successful?
Oh yes, quite successful enough.
Turns out that Michael was also the manager of the model Claudia Schiffer for 3 years. He was then a monk for a short period in 2001 and returned to the faith a year and a half ago. And this time, he says it's for good.
Mostly my family thinks, I should have a family, I should make lots of money, and what people normally think in the West. So no possessions anymore, no health insurance, nothing at all.
Nothing in the bank?
Nothing in the bank. No safety net. On the one hand, it's quite simple. You train yourself daily 7, 8, 9 hours with meditation, and when you're able to still your mind, it becomes very peaceful. And this experience is actually much better than all the money that you have.
Michael hasn't completely forsaken his old life. He's still curious about the English Premiership football scores, Arsenal especially, and then reveals the abbot is a secret Liverpool fan. Monks have to observe 227 strict precepts or rules, so really my efforts were rather pathetic. But in truth, as I left, I realised I did gain something out of the experience. In that short period, I appreciated the routine, the simplicity, and the absence of empty choices you frequently have to make in the outside world. The point, though, is most of us live in that world.
Rajan taking some time to find himself back in 2014. Well, that's all we have time for on this week's programme. But coming up next week,
we head underground in Edinburgh to find out how one iconic street dealt with epidemics almost 400 years ago.
You almost walk a mile in their shoes. You can really understand what these people went through.
Oh, wow.
And Mike's in Zanzibar to visit the showpiece palace that tragically collapsed in December.
It's a mess.
don't forget you can catch up on anything you've missed from this programme and others on BBC iPlayer. Until next time, from me and the rest of the Travel Show team, stay safe and we'll see you next time.